Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Sunday Night Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Happy to have you guys along. Already have a bunch of folks in the chat area tonight. So good evening, everybody. So real quick, we've got a great lineup tonight. I want to get going here. We want to stick to that hour time limit we've been sticking to. We have several guests lined up tonight. We have Max Montoya, the legend. Max Montoya, going to be here with us. We have Hans Steniger from the Tailgate Hall of Fame is going to join us. Great guest tonight for Fan of the Week, Stephen Unger. We're going to go through a history segment again, History Segment 101, Cincinnati football history. And we got a great question of the week about Bengal uniforms, guys. You're going to want to interact with. I know it's been a big topic of discussion on all the social media across the board here. So, and on our screen, guys, we have our guy from Brownsburg, Indiana, James from Brownsburg. And we've got Jamie from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. He's from Brantford, Ontario. Every week we're going to be messing with Jamie. So James came up with that one.
It's going to be like learn your Canadian cities and
just random Canadian cities. I love it.
We appreciate that, Jimmy. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying safe. It's a big week here in Indiana. The barbershop's open, so I got a haircut. I don't have to wear a hat anymore. So that's good. Gym's been open. It's like getting back to normal. So hope everyone's staying safe. And as Jimmy said, appreciate everyone joining us.
Yeah, guys, I'm excited. Episode 3. I believe we're taking a break next week because down there in the States, it's your long weekend. And but we'll be gearing up for episode 4 the week after. But I'm excited. Max Montoya is here. It's going to be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is awesome. So we've got again, we're back to some giveaways here, guys. So Cooks has given us a few more inflatable Bengal helmets. So we're going to do we've got a question for Max and a picture that I just shared on social media that will be given away whoever gets the right answer first, a Bengal inflatable helmet. And then as we close the show out tonight for the Bengals History 101, we'll be giving away another helmet on there. We got a great question lined up for you guys there as well. So again, before we bring Max on, so let's be clear and have some clarity around what we want to have happen here. This is by the fans, for the fans. We want you guys interacting. I mean, we have a ton of people. We had, I think the draft night we talked about, we had 2,000 viewers. We've had easily 1,300 to 1,500 viewers every show since then. Not everybody interacts in the chat area, right? Some people are just watching. I want you guys to be able to ask questions to our guests today as well. So provide any feedback that you're able to, and ask any questions that you want of any of our guests we have lined up. Sometimes the chat gets hot and heavy, and we have trouble keeping up. So we appreciate everybody interacting here. This is for you guys. This has been an absolute blast for us on our end. So,
and Jamie's been busy. You can see he's got a new backdrop there. In addition to his hikings that he's been doing, if you follow Jamie on Facebook, he's a big hiker now, getting his exercise in. And
I got time now, man. The whole world's closed. Up here, anyway. You guys are back to normal. We're still shut down up here.
So
up in Moose Jaw.
Well, that looks good, Jamie. That's very nice.
Thanks, brother. This is a green screen. I picked up a green screen of the day, so stepping it up.
And we had the new intro. Thank you to you. So thanks for adding that as well.
Yeah, buddy. Of course.
Good stuff. Well, hey, let's go ahead. I think Max is in the waiting room. Let's bring him on.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Max Montoya, welcome to the show, buddy. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, guys. We got you loud and clear.
Man, look at that professional backdrop he has there. That is sweet looking, Max. We love it.
Thank my daughter, Allison. She's.
I figured she had something to do with that. Yeah. So Max, let's go through an introduction. Just again, most every Bengal fan knows you're a legend. Drafted out of UCLA by the Bengals in 1979 in the 7th round. Played for the Bengals from 79 to 89. Then went on to the Raiders after that. 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-AFC player, 1-time second-team All-Pro, and yet another Cincinnati Bengal that should absolutely be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Max Montoya, we're excited to have you, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Good, thank you. So we're going to have a lot of questions from our viewers right now, but I've got probably 7 pages that they're not going to let me get to. But I'm going to ask you a few questions. So when you were drafted in the Bengals in '79, you got unfortunately you only had to do 1 year of home race, I think, and
That's
then and then you went from from Homer Rice to Forrest Gregg and then to Sam Weiss. You played in both Super Bowls. So
yeah.
I would love for you to talk about any story you're able to share with us live about with Forrest Gregg and Sam Weiss. So any story you could share with those two guys would be awesome.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, Forrest brought a whole new attitude to the Bengals back. I came in '79, and Forrest came in 1980, and the Homer Rice year was an eye for one thing. Great guy, probably too nice of a coach to coach the NFL. And Forrest came in, and it was like a new dude in town, and he was tough. I think he brought the best out of everybody on the team, and that's what made him so great as a coach.
It's awesome. What about Sam?
Sam, innovator. First thing comes to my mind is he and Bruce Coslett, great offense innovator. I think we had the #1 offense in the mid to late '80s or something, and we were a high power offense. Got stymied in the Super Bowl, but other than that, we were pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's funny too, there's already some questions here. I think I'm already asking some of these questions for the fans watching. So talk about the toughest player that you practice against for the Bengals, and to talk about the toughest player that you actually played against.
Well, Crumry. Everybody knows Tim Crumry. He played a game just every practice. He was 100 miles an hour every day, and it was like, don't play. The game is Sunday, Tim. Slow it down just a bit. But the toughest player, hands down, Reggie White. Unbelievable. He's the only guy that kept me up at night, Saturday night.
But I think you did a pretty good job against him, if I remember.
Good picture. I think I had him contacted pretty good for maybe a half a second. I'm sure he got by me after that.
Good stuff. So you played in both Bengals Super Bowl, and I think there's a story. I don't know the details of it, but Max, we want you to elaborate this as deep as you can get.
Yeah.
The offensive line in 1988, the 88-89 Super Bowl, almost didn't make it to the game on time. So what were you guys doing?
Yeah, actually, that was
That was the first Super Bowl?
That was the first Super Bowl. Yeah,
okay, my bad.
It was the AFC Championship game here in Cincinnati. They called it the Freezer Bowl. I'm sure you were there, and another million fans were there, but everybody says they're at the Freezer Bowl. But no, we stayed up in Sharonville and north of Cincinnati, and of course it was freezing. Nobody could start their cars, their automobiles. We couldn't get down to the stadium, so they had to jump the Marriott van. So we all piled in the van and drove down to the game.
Just took you a while to get down there.
Took us a little bit.
So last week we had Jim Breach on, just a great dude, just a great guy, all-time leading scorer in Bengal history, and we asked him the similar question. So in 89, you guys are playing the Houston Oilers, the infamous 58-7, 25 seconds left. They send Jim Breach out to kick a field goal to make it 61-7. Just Sam running up the game there. So you played in that game. So I would love for you to talk about the Oilers that were lining up again on the other side of you. What the hell were they saying to you pre-snap? What was it like?
Yeah, we were saying, what are we doing, guys? You know, we have to get on the ball, but old Sammy wanted to score one more time. I don't know what he had going with the other guy, the other head coach, but I don't know. But you know, we had to do what we had to do and try and score points.
Yeah, I think him and Jerry Glanville didn't have a whole lot of beers together. I think I don't know.
That's nice.
All right, Jamie, I know we got a bunch of other stuff we want to hit on with Max.
Max, thanks again for joining us. Looking at our offensive line, certainly we've had some struggles since Whitworth left, Big Willie, things like that. What do you look for when you're watching these young offensive linemen in college that translates to being a good NFL player, maybe even specifically at guard?
Yeah, good question. You know, and being an old offensive lineman, I always look at the offensive line, and you know, it takes balance. You know, it takes good foot agility. you've got to think on your feet real quick. But you have to be athletic too. I mean, a lot of people think that offensive linemen are not very athletic, but look at Anthony Munoz. He played shortstop every time we played softball, or I think even at USC, he was maybe a pitcher, first baseman. So a lot of these guys are very athletic, but you got to have great feet and great balance, good quickness.
All right, Jamie, let's go ahead and take one from the fans out there. Again, we appreciate everyone tuning in. If you have a question for Max, be sure to type that in the chat.
Sure. Josh was asking, Max, thoughts about Bengals offseason thus far?
I like the number one pick. I don't know. Last year, everybody was kind of pulling for the Bengals to get the first pick. At least they won one game, I believe. So they ended up with the first pick in the draft to be, what's his name? Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, how could I forget? I think it's going to be a great addition, but then again, it goes back to the offensive line. You've got to have some big guys up front that are very athletic that can protect the kid, because you don't want to get him gun shy back there.
Right. Luke asks, what's your favorite memory from the 2 Super Bowls?
Favorite memory? Wow. Losing both of them, it's not very good memories.
Yeah.
But, just coming out of the tunnel before the game, probably the first game, and that was my third year in Pontiac, Michigan, our first Super Bowl. I was standing right next to Diana Ross. She was singing the national anthem. So, of all things, I mean, that's what I really remember as being a great highlight. Besides playing in the game, of course, you never want to think about the end of it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, I've got something too I want to add. So Max, you played in the league a long time, had just an outstanding career. You blocked for a lot of great I'm not going to talk about the quarterbacks. We talk about those guys all the time, but let's talk about the running backs running backs also.
Yeah.
You blocking for the running backs. I mean, you blocked for Pete Johnson. I mean, there was a lot of great running backs you blocked for.
Archie
Griff. There are running backs that made your job a little bit easier too, right?
Oh, absolutely. James Brooks, great pound for pound offensive running back that would he wouldn't run out of bounds. He would challenge linebackers, and he was tough. We had Ickey Woods. We had, like I said, way back, Pete Johnson. We had Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. And then I went on to finish with the Raiders, and I got to block for Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen in the same backfield.
Wow.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. So Pete Johnson was on a few weeks back, and one of our viewers asked Pete the question, was Jack Lambert or any of the Steelers scared of you? Somebody's asking the same question to you, Max. Were any of these Steelers scared of you?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's afraid of me. Maybe Munoz, but maybe not me. But I'll never forget my rookie year. They threw me in there at guard. I came here as an offensive tackle, and through injuries and such, they threw me in at guard. They asked me one time, can you play guard? I said, yes, sir. Still, they threw me at guard. And my first game, I believe, was against Mean Joe Green up in Pittsburgh. And you remember the Steel Curtain, all them guys. But he was a great guy. He knew I was a rookie, probably shaking in my boots when I was down in my stance. And he would actually say, hey, Max, I know you're pulling right, or, I know you're trapping left. So he's such a great mind of the game. He knew what I was doing probably before I even knew it.
You mentioned going from tackle to guard. Whitworth was somebody that was here a while, went from guard to tackle from LSU, playing guard and tackle here with the Bengals. What is the difference from that left tackle position to moving inside to guard?
Well, playing the tackle position, you basically have a defensive end over you, and that's who you butt heads with all game, all day. Being a guard, I really enjoyed, because I never played guard until my rookie year here in Cincinnati. And I really loved pulling, and I loved being out in the open and trying to make a block and leading running backs. Quick traps were a lot of, and I really liked the pass block too. We had a situation a lot of times where I'd double check for linebacker to outside linebacker. and I'd have to drop back. Whoever came first, I had to pick them up. So there's a lot of different things you had to do as an offensive guard, and tackle was you against the defensive end generally.
Appreciate that.
So we're gonna do a couple more questions here. I'm gonna throw one in, and then we'll take another one from the listeners and followers. But that offensive line in '88, Max, was just the best offensive line in Bengal history, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Talk about we're talking about you. You should be in the damn Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But talk about that unit as a whole. It's not just that you guys were good, but you guys played good together. Talk about that unit.
Well, it all started with Jim McNally, our offensive line coach. He came in with Forrest Gregg in 1980. I believe he came from Marshall University, and I think he was a college coach most of his career. But then he came into the NFL with the Bengals and stayed with the Bengals for a long time. But he had a knack for taking guys, 6th, 7th rounders. Joe Walter was another 7th rounder, maybe 8th rounder. Bruce Kazurski, 6th, 7th rounder. Bruce Reimers, probably another 7th, 8th rounder. And then you had Munoz, of course, anchoring the line. But it all started with Jim McNally really getting us in the position and teaching us and coaching us and all that stuff. And then just the gel of all 5 of us getting together all the time. And we really actually liked each other, and we would do things on our off day, and we would set up some things that we would go fishing one Tuesday, or we all go golfing another Tuesday or day off. So we generally liked each other.
You talk
and still do. We still do. Yeah.
Can you talk about the 65, Max? You wore that here with your time with the Bengals and also in your time with Oakland.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was number 75 at UCLA, and to me, the number really didn't mean anything to me. So guys like to carry their number forward. They just threw me number 65 for whatever reason. And then when I went to the Raiders, I didn't really care what number. Then kind of a sorry thing that they took it off the back of another player and gave it to me, which I didn't really care, but they gave it to me. And after a while, the guy got cut actually. So, but yeah, the 65 really had nothing to
nowadays, these players are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for numbers. You got a deal.
They got necklaces that are worth thousands and thousands with their number on it. And it's okay, that's nice. And it's nice now that I'm retired and old and everything else to say, yeah, I had that number, and that's been good. So yeah, it's been good.
Nice.
But got it caught up in all that stuff.
Go ahead, Jamie. You have another question from a viewer?
Yeah. So Chris in the chat asks, who was one of your favorite teammates you played with during your time with Cincinnati?
Oh boy, there's a lot of them. And generally is one of the offensive linemen, Joe Walter or Anthony or, Kazurski that played next to me, Dave Remington. But, even Jim Riggs, a tight end from way back, and a few other guys. But most of them were offensive guys. We hung out all the time. Our meetings were always together. The only time we basically saw the defense was out on the field or running through the locker room or something. But yeah, there's just a lot of good guys. And then with the Raiders also, just it's always the offensive line. Like I said, we're always tight. We always stay in touch. And even with the Raider line, we're all still pretty tight.
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Jamie, Max, we're going to respect your time. We asked for 10 or 15 minutes. We're right there, but we got one more thing. We want to pop a picture up here. We're going to do a trivia real quick before we pop this up. Our listeners and everybody viewing right now, there's a picture of Allison and Matthew sitting on Santa Claus's lap here. And as before Max tells us who this is, we want you to guess in the chat area here. The first person who guesses that correctly will win a Bengals inflatable helmet from Cook Sporting Goods, downtown Cincinnati. Oops. So Max, I guess before we pull that picture up, we'll let people respond in that messaging. It's really cool. I mean, you coming from California and all the players that came in from drafted all over the country come to Cincinnati, they play, and they must think Cincinnati is a pretty damn nice place to raise their family, because a lot of folks wind up staying. Talk about, your connection to the cities during your playing days and why you guys stayed.
Yeah. It's a great sports town. You got the Reds, the Bengals, and now the soccer team, and of course college football and everything else. But just the people. The people are great. The fans are fantastic. Die-hard, fans. And it's just a great place to live and to raise a family, really. And, coming from the suburbs of LA, coming out here, it was a little bit of a shock. But I'll tell you, it's pretty nice. All but the winters. I'm starting to get sick of the winters. Although it's been mild this last winter or two. But, yeah.
That's great. Well, hey, we appreciate it. So we'll close with this. We want you to talk about this picture. And Jamie, can you pull that up now so Max can see that?
Oh,
so
yeah.
talk about this picture. I did not know who this was, and obviously I got this from somebody pretty close to you because this isn't something we can find. So talk about this picture a little bit.
That's great. That's my twins, Matthew and Allison. And gosh, they must have been 4 years old, maybe 3-4 years old. This particular guy would play Santa almost every year for all the team and the players' kids and such. So this guy's been around the Bengals forever. I don't know if you know who he is, but
actually, I do. Before you tell everybody who it is, we know who it is. But
yeah.
What's really funny, some of the guesses, I don't know if you see these coming across the screen. We've got Ickey Woods, Eddie Edwards, Pete Johnson, multiple Ickeys, Ira Hillary.
Oh,
nobody's coming close on this one. I didn't think they would.
David Verser.
Hold on, somebody
David
got it.
On a few pounds lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who is playing Santa right here, Max?
Well, that is JB, James Brown. He's been from way back. JB, we always call him JB. He would be one of the guys besides some of our wives or something. We'd play on the West Coast on a Monday night game, get back in town in Cincinnati at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m, and JB would be there at the gate waiting for us.
So Chuck Wood got that one first.
Chuck Wood. Chuck Wood and his family are from Toledo, Ohio. Wow. They come down to every single game. But if everybody doesn't know who James Brown is, I think you can YouTube. I think the NFL Network or NFL did a special on JB just last year or the year before last.
Yeah.
And it is an amazing story. And actually what I'll do, I want to be sharing that on our social media links through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because it is a heartwarming story, how that all happened, and how Paul Brown brought him into the organization, basically. It's really cool. So you know who James Brown is. When he's running on and off the field, he's always, giving you the looking up with a big smile ear to ear. One of the nicest human beings you will ever meet.
Yeah, great guy. And played Santa for all our kids. So, there you go.
That's great. Well, Max, we really appreciate your time. And look, you are a Cincinnati legend, and it means a lot you coming on with us and taking a few minutes out of your Sunday evening here. We thank you, and we hope you and your family stay safe. And thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. Same to all you guys, and stay safe out there. We're going to beat this doggone virus. So hang tough.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it. Who day, Max. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for your time, Max.
Thanks for making it happen. Appreciate it.
All right.
Man, I got goosebumps. That was just cool.
That was cool.
I never bet JB in a million years. I was thinking player too. So that was.
Did you see all the guesses though? It was multiple Ickey Wood.
So we had Chuck Wood and Man Abdulson. They literally the same time, but Chuck shows up first on my end. Just so you know, just make sure it's legit.
Hey,
Chuck's the first one on my side.
Chuck, what you're going to have to do in order to claim your Bengals inflatable helmet is make sure you send us a direct message either on Twitter or Facebook or something with your address, and we'll get Cooks to get that out in the mail to you here, hopefully this week for you. Thanks. It's a great guess. I would have never guessed in a million years either. And if I wouldn't have known, there's no way. And
I think you touched on it, but we need to thank Max's daughter, Allison, for setting all that up for us, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
She did an awesome job for us.
She's giving us the thumbs up in the waiting room, just so you know.
Thanks again. That was awesome. And thanks for the engagement there, everybody. It was really, really fun. So let's get it going here. Make sure we stay on track. So do we have Hans in the room at all? Jamie?
We do. Yeah. Yep. You want to bring him on?
Okay. Let's bring him on.
All
hey.
Right.
Hans, what's going on, big dog? How you doing?
Hey, Jim. How are you, man?
And welcome to the show. So this is a first. in Bengal Jim and Friends history that we have a fan from an opposing team on the show. But you'll understand why when we get off here, what kind of guy Hans is. Hans is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, born and raised in Buffalo, lives in Sterling Heights, Michigan right now. Him and I met last year during Pro Football Ultimate Fan Association induction stuff last year up in Canton. Got to meet him. He came down with tailgate this year. One of the most unique guys I ever met. One of the coolest guys, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But Hans, I want you to talk about what you've done with this Tailgating Hall of Fame and your mission behind it, and some of the things the why behind starting this thing up and what you're doing.
Sure. The Tailgating Hall of Fame is a collection of tailgates, but the biggest, the baddest, the boldest, the brightest, the most innovative tailgates. We are the best at what we do in stadiums all across the country on Sundays in the fall, and hopefully this fall as well. We are basically a coalition of tailgates that we function as ambassadors of the game for our cities. So what we like to do is what I call NFL cross-pollination. And that's when a guy from Houston is coming to Cincinnati and he says, "Hey, Hans, who do you know in Cincinnati?" I got our tailgating brothers in Cincinnati, and they'll go and hang out with the Bengal Bomb Squad or the Bengal Trailer Boys. Or we basically just kind of evolved out of this journey that I began in 2006. I was going to go to a game in every stadium. And to do it right, you have to wear that stadium. I wanted to go to a home game. So you have to wear that stadium's jersey. You have to eat their food, drink their beer, enjoy the NFL culture, the NFL diversity that we have all across the country. And what ended up happening is after several years of me going to all these different games, I began to get to know the biggest, baddest, brightest, the best tailgaters in each city. And those guys would come to me for referrals. So they were going to San Diego at the time, or they were going to Houston or Green Bay or Buffalo, and they'd say, "Hey, who do you know?" And what ended up happening is instead of having to come through me to find all these guys, I figured if I formed an organization where we could find each other, it would do a lot of different things. It would allow for these different tailgates to have an ambassador, someone they can talk to about, "Hey, where should I stay? What should I eat? Where should I go? What neighborhood should I stay away from?" Just someone with boots on the ground in each city that could help them kind of navigate what it is that they wanted to do. The other thing that it does is it increases our network and allows us to kind of figure out what's the best way to do certain things. I mean, there's lots of guys that are sharing recipes and tips. We had an entire thread once about flagpoles. What's the best flagpole to use? There's all kinds of things. And when we pool our resources together as a much larger group, I think we have a better experience out in the lot. I also think we enjoy each other's company. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it's nice when you're at a Bills tailgate, or I'm here in Detroit at a Lions tailgate, and it's a sea of Honolulu blue. But when the visiting team comes in and you embrace them and bring them into your fold, it really ratchets up what the tailgate is all about. I mean, tailgating is, Joe Kahn used to say, it's the last great American neighborhood. He's absolutely right. Tailgating is this community. And when you open your little part of the world to others in your community, it makes for an exciting tailgate. We do it all the time.
Yeah, so Hans, it's interesting, man. It's the same mission statement that Pro Football Ultimate Fans has that you and I are part of. You're trying to promote, friendships and between rival teams too, right? You're not really trying. It's tough sometimes when you go out of town and there's always a group of fans from another city that maybe takes things to the extreme. We're trying to connect in a different way here, right? I mean, to your mission statement.
A lot of the issues that you have, it's counterintuitive, right? I mean, you guys are in Cincinnati. A Pittsburgh fan comes in, you want to boo him, you want to razz him, you want to make sure that he goes away knowing, oh, Cincinnati, those guys are legit. Yeah, you can do that. I prefer to bring them in, We can razz them a little bit at our tailgate, but we're going to protect them too. We're going to make sure that these guys who have traveled all the way to my city are going to have a good experience in my city. They're going to walk away saying, wow, that was great. They're going to spend their money in our city. They're going to buy our food. They're going to support our local businesses. And if we can give them that good experience, they go back to their hometowns and they bring other folks in. You know, I mean, it sounds like a very Pollyanna, rose-colored glasses kind of thing, but to me, bringing people together, forming those relationships, that's what we're about. That's what the Tailgating Hall of Fame is about. What we want to do is not just increase our numbers. We want to find those folks that are interested in providing that ambassadorship, are interested in providing that safe environment. When I say safe, it doesn't have to be like alcohol-free or anything. What I'm saying is, you know, these guys can come in, they can have a good time, they can enjoy the tailgate, and they feel protected, they feel safe, they feel like they have friends that they can count on. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, is promote and foster that friendship, that ambassadorship, that oneness that I think gets lost when we bring in these, you know, these lines of demarcation, these different colors. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm starting to understand what NFL diversity is all about. But I think it's important.
Nah, we're with you. That's the PUFA association, and what you're doing is we're on board 100%. There's a question right now from somebody asking, is Bengal Jim's tailgate the longest running tailgate in Cincinnati right now? One of the largest. So understand that Hans is through PFUFA has. We just met for the first time this past year. So we're working our way. We're going to be part of this Tailgate Hall of Fame here very soon. You'll probably get some announcements about that. Our brothers and sisters at the Bomb Squad and the Bengal Trailer, who are good friends of ours as well, are part of that already. They've known Hans a lot longer than we have. But, man, it means a lot you coming on. I know is there a couple questions in here, Jamie, that we want to throw out? Because before he cuts off the screen here, I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit.
I'll let Jamie look for those, but you know, Hans hit the nail on the head. Jimmy and I have been fortunate to go to 20 plus away stadiums, and probably the one that stands out is Buffalo. You know, hanging out with Pinto Veron as he's cooking food on the hood of that old red Pinto. It's covered in ketchup, doing the shots out of the bowling ball. You know, that's cool stuff that you know, especially in these days of social media, you see all that. You know, you see these videos being shared, and certainly some extreme ones in Buffalo as well. But when we travel to the stadiums, okay, now we get to meet these guys and gals. And you know, I said it on a show a couple of weeks back. You go in there, you treat them, you know, how you would want to be treated when they're in your town, and 99% of the time, it's no problem at all. So appreciate you putting like minds together, and certainly there's a lot of people watching that enjoy going to other cities, and as you said, you know, experiencing the city nightlife. You know, Jimmy and I went to the draft in Texas. You know, going to that country bar, a big time country bar. Of course, there's country bars everywhere, but you know, one in Fort Worth that had a spinning dance floor.
It was the realest country bar I've ever been to. I tell you that.
So yeah, we appreciate that, and that is a big part of the NFL and the NFL experience. Certainly game days at 1:00 are there for when we cheer on our team, but it's that whole weekend of getting away and seeing the new city and meeting new people, and exactly what you said. You hit the nail on the head. Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can have
I will say as well, especially like, Buffalo's always been a great city to go see a game. I know you said, Hans, you're in Detroit, but I assume you go to a lot of the Bills games.
I do.
Being a Bengals fan in a Buffalo game has been even better ever since we beat the Ravens and put you guys in the playoffs. I got more free beers during that preseason game the next year than I've ever gotten in my entire life at a game.
Detroit, hold on one second, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, I think you were there. Detroit's the only place I've been to where they had a hot tub in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Those are my guys. That's the tailgate.
Yeah. With the hot tub. I mean, I think everybody's got pictures of that, and then that's just something that you don't see very often. So that was certainly a unique experience.
So, Hans, Brandon's asking a very specific Bills tailgating question here for you. Have you ever went through a table at a tailgate?
No, you probably can't tell because I'm very small sized, but I'm fairly diminutive in stature. My lightweightedness and short nature prohibits me from actually crashing through a table at a Bills tailgate and probably surviving. So
you just need to get another story up on that van. Get a ladder on top of the van. You'll be good.
It could be.
So I know we're right at our time here. So guys, I told everybody on social media that Hans has a very unique talent. I was kind of mesmerized by it when I met him up in Canton this past year. So Hans knows traveling into all these different cities, and he has a photographic memory, obviously, but he knows every fight song. Just don't ask about one team. I'll tell you here in a minute. He knows every fight song for every NFL team. Now, let's define what that is. When the Bengals score a touchdown, they play our fight song, right? The Who Dey chant, the Who Dey song. He knows every song. He knows every song from every NFL team. So his Pittsburgh is Miami. So just don't ask him about Miami. But I want you to start typing in any NFL team you want. Type it in. He's going to sing their fight song. We're going to do a couple of these, and he's going to finish with the Bengals fight song. So the Bengals growl. So type in any team, random team. I don't care who it is. The first team. If they have a fight song, he will know it. Okay. Do the Raiders have a fight song?
No, the Raiders have a poem. The autumn wood is a raider. I don't know the whole poem, but
they don't have a fight song when they score a touchdown. They don't. Okay.
No.
Do you see the screen there? We got Denver.
Denver does not have a fight song. Not that they sing when they score a touchdown. Cardinals, not that I'm aware of.
Keep going.
So there used to be a San Diego Supercharger song. I know that. It goes, they're coming your way. We're going to dazzle you with our play. The time has come. We're shooting. The Rams. The Rams don't have one that I'm aware of.
Okay, Philadelphia. Give me the Colts. Colts.
Philly?
Saints?
Go Philadelphia. Go Philly.
So fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high. Watch our Eagles fly. Patriots, hell no.
So he did last year up at the induction for the Pro Football Ultimate Fans Association. I'm sitting there watching this guy sing like 7 or 8 of them in a row. I'm like, how in the hell does he remember all these?
Go Vikings, let's win this game. Skol Vikings, honor your name. Go get a first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em. Then there's hail to the Redskins, hail victory. Braves on the warpath, fight for old DC. What else?
All right, Hans. Last one. We're closing with the best one.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. The Bengals growl. Let's go.
Okay. Hear that Bengal growling, mean and angry. Here he comes a prowling, lean and hungry, an offensive brute. Run past our boot. And defensively, he's rough, tough. Cincinnati Bengals, that's a team we're going to cheer to victory. Touchdown Bengals, get some points up on that board and win the game for Cincinnati.
Hell yeah, baby. Okay.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Well done. Well done.
Man, it means a lot, man. We're going to, I love the mission statement you have there with the Tailgating Hall of Fame. We're all about it, and we love to continue to promote that for you. And I think more of that needs to be done around the NFL, man. We appreciate you coming on, man, and look forward to having a beer with you again up in Canton here this year, hopefully.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you.
Thanks for your time, Hans. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
We got the best one by far, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
He loves it. Yeah, the guy. I mean, he's awesome. He's awesome.
No doubt.
So, all right. So before we bring on Steven, I think we got Steven Unger coming up next. Any comment on Hans? He's a trip, man. I love him.
I like what he was saying about the making people feel welcome. I think that's, and again, he kind of said, maybe because I'm getting older and more mature, but I don't know. I think it's true. When you go to a visiting city, it's very intimidating when you go to a visiting city. You're wearing the opposite team colors and jerseys, and you're walking into a town and you hear all these stories. It's so dangerous to go here and so dangerous to go there. Nothing's better than being a fan from a visiting city, going somewhere, going to a coffee shop or something and seeing a guy in the opposing team colors come up and like welcome you to the city, tell you places to check out. It's NFL fandom's a brotherhood. I think I think more of that needs to happen. More of that needs to happen for sure.
Love it. Well, we've got the fan of the week coming on, guys, and this is going to be a first for me. So let's go. Is Steven in the room there?
Yes, he is.
Okay, let's bring him on.
Hello.
So Hunter, I'm going to try this.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear
We
you.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Very
So
fun to-
Steven is deaf. Steven Unger is deaf. A really good guy. We're going to talk to him. And Hunter, his wife, is going to be his translator, and she was messing with him earlier, saying if he didn't do all the housework today, he was, you don't want to mess with a translator in the interview tonight. So I'm going to try my best here to welcome him. So we're going to go, welcome to the show, my friend.
Oh, you.
Awesome.
Nice.
Did I get it right? Yes. The only other one I know, Steven, is this one.
Okay. I remember when I first met you, it was at CVG at the airport. We were going to Dallas to the Cowboys games, and you took your son. Woke him up early for his birthday, and that was the first time I met you. Do you remember?
I do remember that. So we have some questions for Steven. Steven just said I met him many years ago. Just happened to see this dude with this really cool jersey, which he's going to talk about here in a minute. And I had to go up, and obviously I didn't know how to sign, but we communicated very well, writing on pieces of paper and things of that nature. So, Hunter, if you could ask him, just talk about his fandom, his first game and how long he's been a season ticket holder, and I know he's got this huge consecutive game streak and things of that nature. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So let me try to summarize for you. The first it was my dad who had season tickets for the Cleveland Browns, and he went for 3 years straight because there was no team in Cincinnati. And so that was like 65 to 68. My dad drove back and forth to Cleveland. Cincinnati finally got a professional team, and so my dad bought season tickets up until, well, we still have the tickets, but my dad passed away a few years ago. I started going to the games with my dad in January of 1982. And I would ask my mom, some days my dad wouldn't be there. I'd say, "Where's Dad?" "Well, he's in Michigan." "Why is he in Michigan?" And I found out that he was at the Super Bowl for that particular year. And I didn't know that he had gone. I just started going to football games. So in August of 82 is when I started watching the games, and those are the Bengals. That's where my dad goes. I told my dad I wanted to start going, and so he took me, and the first game was against the Houston Oilers, and I developed an interest, and I always would ask my mom to give me $2. She would give me $2, and I would get the Game Day magazine every game. "Mom, can I have $2? I would always ask her for money to get the Game Day magazine because my dad always told me no. So I had this collection of maybe 15 years worth of magazines, kind of like a hoarder, you might say. But anyway, so I started going to the games in 1983. I didn't get 82 on this jersey because that was more of half a season. That was when I first started developing my interest. But that's where my shirt, why it has the number 83, because I've gone to every home game since 1983. Playoffs,
Wow.
preseason. I've traveled to quite a few different stadiums. I've gone to probably 37 away games, paid for a lot of airline tickets.
Let me ask you. So most people don't know about this jersey. Can he turn around so people can see the back of his jersey?
Sure. Let me try to get this.
Yes. That's awesome.
Fan since 53.
That's awesome. We love it. So that when I first met Steven, that's the first thing I seen in the airport.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, "Why do you have number 83? Is that for Boyd?" And I turn around, say, "No." And then I tell them a little bit of the story that I've been going to games since 1983. I had the idea to get the jersey, and my wife surprised me with it for my birthday. I also have a belt that she made. She needle pointed the belt with all of the logos.
Nice.
and has my initials at the end. So that was a nice surprise. She did that at night while I was asleep. So anyway.
So what size waist do you have there? I wonder if that thing will fit me.
Yeah, I'll sell it to you. You have to look for it on eBay.
We have a bunch of questions coming over, guys. You want to get to a few of those, Jamie, for Stephen?
James, you got one first here? I got to keep up with the chat here.
Well, I enjoy, as Jimmy said, he's been at our tailgate with the son, and I didn't know that story. Season ticket holder since '83, so I think our fan of the week had just continued to progress from the Twins to the history buff we had. As you said, this is a first, so we appreciate Stephen being on here and Hunter doing a great job translating everything for us. I took sign language as a second language in college. Unfortunately, can't pick up everything that Stephen's doing so fast. But, again, it just shows the uniqueness of all of our Bengals fans, our history, the stories behind them. And I tell you what, thank God that Cincinnati got a team, so he's not stuck being a Browns fan for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. I do have a question here, guys, from Steven and Jeff asking, who is your favorite player?
Oh, that's a good question. There are just too many. I do remember I had my first jersey was Ken Anderson's jersey. Then he retired and I got Boomers. He left and I had Corey Dillon's jersey. And I just felt like I was wasting my money because they would leave or retire. And so that's when I came up with the idea to get this jersey. But gosh, so many favorites, players that I love.
It's hard to pick one. I think we all as fans have that same challenge. Dustin asked, what was his most memorable game that he's went to?
The best game?
Most memorable.
You know what? One thing I will never forget was when Carson Palmer tore his ACL. I remember my heart broke. Tears came to my eyes. I was so angry at Pittsburgh. I remember that moment. And if that had never happened, we had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I thought we would have made it. And I will never forget that moment. Another one was when Tim Crumry broke his leg in the Super Bowl. I remember I was there. And so I remember our defense was blocking the 49ers. We did first down, every down we blocked them. And then after he got hurt, the 49ers kept getting first downs. And it was awful. So those are two very significant memories, most memorable.
Yeah.
And I do have a picture of me at the Super Bowl with my dad.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that was in Miami.
Very cool.
I have a question about the live game experience. What does the NFL do, especially the Bengals? Anything that they do for deaf fans, for audio visuals, or anything that assistance or anything around the stadium?
Unfortunately, no. I pay attention myself. Like I can tell you the calls, what the refs are gesturing and the signs that they're using. So I'm pretty attentive and pretty astute that way. I remember, like if I was there with my dad or if I'm there with other friends and other fans, I can tell what's going on, and I can tell by the reaction of the fans that whether I had it right or not. So there's not much. They do the Star Spangled Banner. So it's kind of hard to explain, though. I pay attention to the game very closely.
Well, Stephen, Hunter, we thank you so much for being with us. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. Stephen's just a great dude. He love hanging around with you guys and the family. Thanks for being on with us, Stephen. We appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Jamie, that was a great question. I never would have thought of asking that question.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I was curious.
That kind of translates into now, the what if, an empty stadium. Obviously we still have the sportscasters that are going to be doing the play-by-play, but it's not going to be nothing like Steven has to deal with being deaf, but it's like a surreal, quiet experience where I'm sure the audio, as he said, he's in tune to what the refs are doing. I'm sure he uses all of his other senses. But, moving forward, again, this is nothing like Steven has to deal with, with fans in the game. What is that experience going to be like if that happens? We might see it sooner with baseball coming up this summer, hopefully. But hopefully we won't have to deal with that in the fall with football. But, certainly it could be a different experience.
See, I'm hurting so much for live sports, guys. I actually watched a bit of the German soccer league today. And it was interesting to see what it's like with no fans. It's absolutely crazy. You hear the players yelling on the field. And when they score a goal, it just like the excitement level is just not the same. It's not the same without the fans.
It's different. I think we got the closest thing. NASCAR was back today, but
NASCAR was on today.
With the noise from the cars that you hear, so we really don't have that from sports other than it's the grunting or the pitcher or yelling at each other, something like that. So definitely.
Well, I do want to say, so we've got a huge deaf community that are diehard Bengal fans, and it's the same theme, guys. You don't have to be the face painted guy on TV all the time to be the diehard fan. People like Steven and all the fans we've had on the Twins. These are special people. These guys, you don't get much more diehard than what Steven does. And another deaf Bengal fans, Megan, who is from Pennsylvania, comes to all the games. She's tailgated with us a few times. She kind of hops around different tailgates. But I do want to say thank you, Megan. I'm going to try my best. I know she's watching, so I'm going to try my best to do this. Thank you, Megan. I think I'm right. Megan, you'll let me know and correct me if I'm wrong, but thank you. So I think we're at our Bengals history segment, correct, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Yeah, cue it up. You don't have to put it on yet. So this is another trivia segment here, guys. We did the helmet that was won by Chuck Wood from Toledo. We've got another trivia question here. We're going to, right before we get into the video. So this segment history, we're going to talk about opening day 1970 against a very, very good Raiders team who went on to go to the AFC Championship game in 1970. We have them opening day 1970. It's the first game ever in brand new packed Riverfront Stadium. It's the first NFL game in Cincinnati. If you remember, in 68 and 69, that was the AFL. This is the first game after the merger in 1970. This is what Paul Brown was waiting for. This is why he spent 2 years in the AFL. He knew there was going to be a merger at some point. Paul Brown's comment when him and his investors invested $10 million in the Cincinnati franchise in 68 was, I'm not spending $10 million to play in the AFL. His plan, very strategic thinker, was to get to the NFL. This was it. This was the first game for Paul Brown. So Paul Brown had a tough decision here to make who was going to start at quarterback. If you remember, 1969, Greg Cook was Rookie of the Year. Well, Greg Cook got hurt and pretty much ended his career against the Kansas City Chiefs in 1969. So he's looking for an opening day starter for the opening day game in Cincinnati. So the trivia question before we play this, I'm going to give you maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Who scored the first rushing touchdown in Riverfront Stadium? So James and Jamie, if you could bring us all back on here, we're going to let people type in their answer and then we'll play the clip. So I think one of the things the feedback we've gotten on the Bengal history stuff has been unbelievable. I mean, we talked about it every week so far. So good stuff here for the history.
And what does the winner get, Jimmy? You want to reiterate?
I'm sorry. The winner will get, we have one more of the Bengal inflatable helmets from Cook Sporting Goods to give away. Again.
So I also want to let people know, sometimes people type the answer at the same time. We're to award the prize based on the order we see it. Some people might see their comment first, but we see it the way we see it. That's the way we have to award it. because people do type in answers within the same minute and the way it timestamps. So just want to make sure no one's upset. We want to keep it fair as possible, obviously.
Yeah. Again, the question: who scored the first rushing touchdown? A lot of people are googling right now. Who scored the first rushing touchdown at,
and I think we got
at Riverfront Stadium? So we've got a bunch of answers. So we're gonna go ahead and play the video.
Okay.
And a lot of good guesses on here, guys. Yeah, so good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and play the clip now, Jamie. We'll
Okay,
go
it's
ahead and
going to
play
put us off the screen.
Match the Raiders strength for strength. Number 33, former Chargers safety Kenny Graham, scooped up a partially blocked punt and set up the first Bengal score. Number 14, quarterback Sam Weish, rolled right and kept right on rolling to the Bengals' first touchdown of the year. Weiss set up another score with an end around to wide receiver Eric Crabtree, number 10. Paul Robinson followed a block by number 71, former Chicago Bear Rufus Mays, and the Bengals had scored again. Another Bengal touchdown was the result of a Sam Weish pass to speedy running back Essex Johnson, number 19. But the star of the game was number 30, running back Jess Phillips, the former defensive back from Michigan State, who accounted for almost 200 yards running and receiving. The game's biggest play occurred late in the third quarter. Third down, 30 yards to go from the Bengal 24. Paul Brown's call, a draw play to Jess Phillips. Later, Phillips said, quote, "We all sort of flinched when that play came in from the sideline, but it was the Raiders who placed at the final score. Oakland 21, Cincinnati 31.
Well, who pulled up the right guess there? It was pretty quick. As soon as I asked it, somebody knew it.
It's going to take me a little bit to scroll back with so many guesses.
Dustin Osborne, I think, is who it was. We'll pull it up here as we talk about it. So real quick, we'll finish the segment. So that was Paul Brown's first game back in the NFL after the merger. The Bengals beat a very, very good Raiders team 31-21. The first rushing touchdown, 5-yard touchdown by Sam Weish. The first passing touchdown, Sam Weish threw a 51-yarder to Essex Johnson. And then the first 100-yard rusher in Riverfront Stadium was Jess Phillips, who had 5 rushes for 130 yards. So great day in Cincinnati. That was a great opening day in Cincinnati in 1970.
When he showed that video, I thought it was going to be a defensive touchdown there for the first quarter. Then that ball was bobbling around on the sidelines. There's no way that thing's going to stay in bounds. And, of course, it went out of bounds. And thought Sam Weish scored a touchdown. But I thought that was almost a trick question there.
I think I shared that video a few weeks ago, maybe a while ago on Twitter. I don't post those videos on all of our social media, but I think probably some people that were Twitter followers probably knew that answer before others. So, but no, another history segment. We appreciate that, guys. The winner,
Dustin
Osborne. So on Twitter, Dustin, if you could direct message me your address, name and address and everything, and we'll get that to Cooks and we'll get that helmet out to you.
Again, thank you to Cook for sponsoring the giveaways, going all the way back to the Thursday night of draft night with the Joe Burrow jersey all the way through. So we appreciate their support and their giveaways for all of our fans watching.
Yep, good stuff.
Awesome. We ready for the question of the week here, guys?
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into the question of the week, I'm going to play a quick video, just a little background of what the question is going to be. And here we go.
Sure. You know, the one thing I will say, going into next year, the Bengals are going to have to redo their uniforms. They are just horrific.
You think horrific, huh?
I don't like them, yeah.
I think they're bland now. I guess I've gotten used to them.
Just got too much stuff going on, too much orange, too much too many things happening on that uniform.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know what it is? It's that white thing down the side of their black jerseys. That.
All right. So, question of the week this week is going to be, do you think the Bengals should change their uniforms? So put your comments in the chat. We'll get you up on the screen.
And
We
I'm
also had a
just gonna
picture.
say, I'm just going to
Never
say,
change the helmet.
they never change his helmet.
No,
Never.
cannot
His helmet
change
is
the lid.
gold. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Now, sorry, James, go ahead.
Well, I think, that even the thing that's been the most different was the color rush jersey that we debuted on Thursday night about 4 years ago. But strictly from a financial standpoint, come up with a third jersey, make some money. Fans will buy it, something different. So I am all for doing something. We can leave the helmets the same, but who is it? The Rams just changed their jerseys with mixed reviews, if you want to say that. You got Eric Dickerson's, basically sticking up for the fans, saying how bad they were. But I don't know. I'm all for changing new things. Tradition will always be there, but I'm all for trying out a new jersey. Heck, it's a great financial windfall for the merchandise sales once that happens.
Yeah, it's
Jimmy,
interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll pop these pictures up in a minute. What's crazy? We were talking about the question of the week. We've been talking about for the past few days, and man, I tell you what, social media for the past month, 4 to 6 weeks, has been on fire talking about uniform changes, and it's very interesting. So if you could pop up some of these images, Jamie, we'll talk about them.
Sir.
So these are images that were mostly on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, but this is the artist who did these Bengal uniform concepts is Tyler McKinko, I think is how you pronounce his name. Very cool selections there. You see the color rush with the white helmet, which I thought was really cool. But let you guys see
color
those.
rush is sexy. I love that color rush, man. The white tiger.
Clean for sure.
I do too.
Has our boy Dalton done his jersey design? I'd love to see what our man Dalton would come up with for his design.
Well, and I want to give Dalton a shout out too. I don't know if you guys noticed the new countdown. I know, James, you had noticed it today, but that logo that we use for the show, actually, it's right behind me here. I'm still getting used to this green screen, but that's our boy Richard Dalton did that for us. So at Dalton RC, sweet logo. We look legit.
So Jamie,
you're voting for the white tiger.
Well, there's more. There's a couple more uniforms. Here's what we see the most popular things. So go to the next couple options that I sent you.
I just did the collage. I didn't put the other ones.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
So that's okay. Here's what some of the lot of the comments. There seem to be a huge amount. You can get that off the screen if you want. But what's interesting? Hey, Cannon, what's up, big dog? What's interesting, there seems to be a huge chunk of Bengal fans that love the history of that early 2000 jersey. So the jersey that Corey Dillon wore, there it is. So that the leaping tiger on the side, the more bolder, thicker sleeve stripe, but not all the way down. A huge chunk of Bengal fans really like that uniform concept. And then you have, again, this is me. I can't remember the artist that did this. I apologize. I hate doing this without recognition to the artist, but this is just an old school 1970s jersey with AJ Green in it with a old Pumpkinhead Bengals helmet. I know it looks like the Cleveland Browns, but let me tell you,
I don't like that.
That's not Cleveland Browns. That's Paul Brown's uniform that we're looking at. Right? They're not Cleveland.
I know.
I think they need to have like a third jersey. Is that what the NHL teams call them? At least once a year, if not twice.
Yep.
I think that should be mandated. Just a little breath of fresh air, and try something different, something cool for the fans to experience.
Hey, put that helmet back up. So Joe Goodberry, who I think used to write for The Athletic, I think he's kind of stepping out of that a little bit, but he was on our show draft night as well. He made this color rush helmet himself. Got a white helmet, ordered the stripes. So if the white color rush seems to be very popular, but I'm telling you, man, if we could go with a white helmet with the black stripes, that's good stuff to me too.
It's killer. It looks good. So again, like any, this debate always gets both sides, but clearly split down the middle in the chat. We got some no's, we got some yeses. Everyone seems to agree helmets no, keep the helmets the way that they are. Chris says bring back the Super Bowl era jerseys. Luke, yes, everything but the best damn helmet in football. Kim and Ron says no, but thanks for the great show. Thank you, guys. Lose the white panel, lose the black pants. The late 80s was an awesome look from Joe. Let's see here. I looked at a lot of these discussions. Most like letter B into the tiger head. I personally like when the helmet rule changes, having a white alternative option. All but the throwback. Yes. Another one, Dustin here says no more B logo. Of course, that's the logo I have tattooed on my body. So hopefully we never change the B logo. Matt says, I agree. No more B logo. I'm not going to cut off my legs. Sorry. Bring back the leaping tiger. Brandon Bradshaw says.
See, I'm not a big leaping tiger guy. Remember, it was in the middle of the 50-yard line, the middle of the field at Paul Brown Stadium. My opinion, guys. There's no right or wrong. Everybody can have their opinion on this. It just looked like a scared cat jumping off a couch to me. But
the sleeve of the jersey, I did like that look. But Jamie, I think you're going to bring us into a new section to do on social media. Here are your tattoos.
Oh, there's
well,
good ones.
Show us your Bengals tattoos, exactly.
Well, I think we're coming to the end of it here, guys. I think we're a little over today. Sorry.
So actually, James just talking about a segment, and it's kind of fitting that you have your son there. So I want to show a quick video, guys. This is my my stepdaughter who this was 5 years ago, so she would have been 6, I think, 6 at this point. She recorded this video. It's got to be one of the cutest things you'll ever see. So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to ask people, again, we're not back next week, but the week after, if you guys have some clips or any video or even pictures of your kids showing their Bengals fandom, doing something funny, something silly, hit us up, hit Bengal Jim up on Twitter, on the Facebook page, and we'll try and put some up. But enjoy this, guys, really quickly. We'll come back.
Who they think they're going to beat them Bengals.
5 years ago, man.
Who they think gonna beat them? That's a trip, man. That's a trip.
So it's awesome to see that. So we want everybody that's listening and watching, start sending us those of your kids. They don't have to. They can be from years ago. They can be current. We want to start doing a little quick segment to close out the show with some of the stuff that the kids are doing. I know Cannon has some crazy Bengal stuff too. We're going to have him do some things for us as well. So, but James, anything as we close this out?
No, Jamie has his holiday weekend this weekend. All of us in the States are going to celebrate Memorial Day, and thank you to our men and women that serve and who have died. So we're going to take next weekend off. Enjoy the time with your families. Again, remembering those who sacrificed for us. Stay safe, and then we'll be back with another exciting show in 2 weeks.
Jamie, anything before we go?
Yeah, guys, stay safe. Soap and water, wash those hands, flatten the curve, all that fun stuff, and hopefully we can get through this so we can get some football going. I want to get back to Paul Brown Stadium, back to the tailgate.
Absolutely. So again, just repeating what James said, guys, we're not going to be here next week, Memorial Day weekend. So we will be back the following week. We got a lot of good stuff lined up for you. So we're going to keep this thing going. The interactivity has been great. The amount of views during the session, and then even more so after the session, because people can't make the live feed. We're 13 to 1,700 views the last couple shows. So this thing continues to grow and get momentum, and we appreciate everybody for being here. Stay safe. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks, and Hoo Day.
Thanks, guys. Hoo Day.
Hoo Day.
Hoo Day.